Hello guys, welcome to your first tutorial in C programming. So in this tutorial I want to show you how programming in C can be so much fascinating. C programming is one of the widely used programming languages to develop almost every kind of software. All what we are seeing on my desktop here is all about C programming. Can develop all these apps in C programming. And ensure when you're watching this video switch to the full screen mode because I wanna be using all this surface space here you're seeing. So C programming can develop anything you want apart from websites. And if you want to develop a website, then it shall require to go for my PHP programs that I've written. It will be on my repository film on the YouTube. So C programming language is one of the earliest languages that want to initiate us to the object-oriented programming in C++. But before that, we need to have the concept in C programming so that we can get better of what we're going to do. So first so good, before you get started to code in C, you need some of the things. One of the things that you need is a surface to write your program. So there are so many softwares used to write C program languages. Like one of them is that one that comes by default on Windows. We call it the Notepad. So Notepad is one of the native surface used to write codes, but I really don't recommend this because it doesn't look that fascinating the way we could want to do things better and faster. Apart from that one, we also have a program called Notepad++. It doesn't come by Windows by default, so this Notepad++ is also one of them, but I really don't recommend that. We can be using it, have almost everything we want, but I don't recommend that. Apart from that, we also have what we call the Dev C++. So Dev C++ is one is to write C and C++ languages and compiling them because it has a compiler by default. But still I don't recommend it because of the lack of the autocomplete features. So first of all, the best software to write your program I recommend is CodeBlocks. CodeBlocks doesn't come by Windows by default. 2, it has a compiler, and that compiler is the software that we require to translate our code into the computer readable language of zeros and ones so that it can give us an output after processing. That's why we need a compiler. So a compiler in CodeBlocks comes with everything we would want. So here what we need is to understand the logic and concept of what we require. But before you have CodeBlocks, because it doesn't come with Windows by default, you have to download it. So like me already, I have my CodeBlocks program. So I have the CodeBlocks app, the one I use. So you gotta go get that. When you need to have the CodeBlocks app, after downloading it and installing it, this is what it looks like. But for you to download, what you need is to go to codeblocks.org. So here you're gonna have the CodeBlocks app. Download it. Download the minjw.exe setup that has a compiler in it. So after downloading the CodeBlocks app, ensure you install it, and after installing, ensure that the path of the compiler is found in the same folder with the CodeBlocks. So after that, you can have your CodeBlocks started like this and ensure that everything is okay. So what I'm talking about the compiler, this is what I'm talking about, that you ensure your compiler is the path same to the CodeBlocks. So this path is so much important because if you mess up, then it means that everything gonna be at a mess. So you need to understand it better and everything you wanna do. So this is the GNU-GCC compiler that comes by default in CodeBlocks. We call the global compiler. So ensure you have that. So for here, let's get started by creating a new project. And the project, I want us to create an empty project. I don't want to use the console application, so we will create an empty project. So from there, you gonna skip that. come here and say the hello world, hello world, hello world. Let's call our app like that, and me and I'm saving it in my C coding. So from there we go to next. Ensure you see the compiler is this one, nothing else. All this should be checked. You see everything here is in fit for what we're gonna do. So from here we have this window like this. So for you to get to the editor, what you need is to click here on this hello world surface so that you can get what we need. Like this files also come in here, everything is here, or whatever you will need. But what is so much important as having your project, this project has everything you need. So the settings gives you the compiler, the editor, the debugger, global variable scripting, startups, everything you need comes here. So that becomes very important to you to know that you can do whatever you want. Like you can build a project, you can run, you can build and run at the same time. It depends what you want to do. You can still check for errors, like this code logs here you have the logs and others. You can see whatever is happening to your program. Alright, so for us here you can come and say you're gonna create a new file, and that file we can call it an empty file. So let's say it wanna be like this, and that empty file you wanna call it, let's call it main. I like calling them main because main is what carries everything in what we're programming. So it's in our hello world. So here we allow everything is empty. So in C programming we have what we call the header first. So the headers are the one that gives us what we want to be talking about in the web program, and the first header is what we call standard IO. Standard IO. That's the first header that we're going to be talking about. So it's the one that tells the compiler that what we are going to talk about here is from that standard IO. Apart from that, another header is so much important. It's called standard library. Standard library. We forgot to call it. So when you calling a compiler a header, you should ensure you include this hash. So you see it looks like a header. So you're gonna be working with those first two headers that are so much important. Apart from that one, we have what called the main. The main is what tells the compiler that the program is starting to work from here. So it is important we call the int main. It is very important in a program because without this one it means your program is not working properly. Then we call it like this. After that, what you have is called the return 0, because after the program has run, the compiler has done everything, you need to return a 0 value. So from there, what's so much important here to understand is when we're talking about what we need in C. C has special ways of calling for functions, characters, and whatever you want. So understanding the logic and concept of C requires some little time to understand all the functions, but not necessarily get everything at the same time. You just one thing at a time becomes an important thing for you. So here we get started. Like we want to print a hello world string. Yeah, I'm introducing another term called string. We're gonna be talking about it, but for now let me print the hello world statement. Let me call it like that. So like I go to printf. Printf means you're going to print a function. Alright, so that is the importance of C when you talk about C. So you see I've included this is called the terminator. So that terminator means that is the end of line. It breaks the line. Okay, so like here you're gonna include those two symbols that are much important because the double quotation marks, they must that whatever you're gonna print in those double quotation marks wanna appear on the screen. So like let's print hello world. That's our program. Apart from that, I can break the line. That symbol /n, that is a backward slash. Okay, so that backward slash means that we are breaking to a new line. So after that, what you come to is called a build. So we don't just build. I like building and running. So after building, you build a program. So you see we got an error somewhere like here. So this red mark, it shows that you have an error, so it's supposed to be a header. That's why we're including .h. That means that it's a header. Period h means a header. So we can build and run a program. Still complaints over a problem. Let's check out. We delete it. It is include, not includes. You see that? So you must be clear on the errors. That's why I love Cablog code show everything that you want. It is good when we start with these errors, because they want to show you basically what we need to understand. Coding a program without getting errors means that you're not perfect, but it means you have a problem somewhere, because you need to get some errors so that I can know what the end user wanna be having same challenges. That's why I like having programs that have challenges. Then later on we transform to a clean program without errors. So let's check on this one. We build and run. No error. So our program is here to execute. Hello world. That is what you're expecting on the output. So outputting depends how fast your computer is. So mine is a little bit slow, so that's why I'm not getting the results faster. But here it is. You gotta go get it. So mine is a little bit slow. You don't have to get worried about that. So here it is. Boom, we got it. So it is hello world. Whatever you want to do, it has returned what we call 0. We were talking about return 0. This is return 0 because we don't want to return anything. The program has done what is to return 0. That's why we go for it. We can print anything, like, okay, let's print a name. Like, my name is Almeida Manzolo. So you're gonna print Manzolo, Almeida Manzolo. You're gonna print that name. It depends how fast your computer is to print what we call to execute a program or a code that we have developed. So this statement, hello Almeida Manzolo, gonna be printed. Whatever you want, whatever way you wanna develop it. So it doesn't matter how it is. Almeida Manzolo. Apart from that, you can have two statements. Like you delete this one, so you can have that statement like that. Then okay, I'm a little bit lazy to type, so we're gonna just copy and paste. So like Almeida Manzolo as good, and if not, then he's awesome. So let's say Almeida Manzolo is awesome. What's wrong with this fucking program? So let's use it like this. He's awesome. He's awesome. Okay. So like when you do like this, you shall not have a space between Almeida Manzolo. You're gonna print the same statement on the same line, but no space. Check out on this. So you're gonna build it, run it, and have what we call the output. So the output gonna just combine, because we have not initialized what we call the breaking to a new line. That's why we are using the backward slash n. That means we break into a new line. You see that? So like while we're waiting for it to get ready, check on this. Almeida Manzolo is, it is not separated, is and good. So Almeida Manzolo is good, and if not, then he is awesome. You see that? So like when we want it to have a separate, we can include a space here, and if not, but I don't like including spaces in programs. So what you can do is we're gonna have what we call backward slash tab. That is, backward slash means that we're going to have a tab, a space. Tab means that, and we always use the for end tab. So check out on this. When talking about tab, so they are different. Whatever you can call the a whatever. It depends with what we want to print in your program. So check out on this and see how you're gonna be working awesome for you. We wait the compiler to respond. My computer is too slow. I see that, but don't worry about that. Sometimes it's gonna be first. So you see, Almeida Manzolo is good, and if not, then he's awesome. So you see, there's this space between Manzolo and Manzolo and Ayres. So you see that space. So whatever you're gonna print is whatever wanna come. It doesn't matter how you're gonna print your programs. To avoid having so long lines, it is better sometimes to break programs into plain functions. They wanna make it look appealing. So first of all, that is the beginning, but we're gonna learn more about C until we get to the end, until you become a pro. C programming is awesome. Never get tired to learn it. Never see it like hard. It is a simple language but it works a lot because you can still develop an operating system using C. So don't take C for a joke, take C for a love. For now, we are done with the first tutorial of Introduction to Programming. So far so good. Don't wait, subscribe now to get the full tutorial of our programming until they get to the end. Thank you for watching, keep in touch guys, subscribe to get enrolled. Goodbye for now.